All right, so 4 10.5% beers. Let's do it. Everybody, and welcome to your special St. Patrick's Day episode here on Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Ross.
And we are celebrating St. Patrick's Day as we do every year by drinking through Third Space Brewing Company's release of Mystic Knot. Now this year, again, another unique release from them. They've got 4 different variants, including the base Mystic Knot, which is unchanged as far as I'm aware, other than maybe the coffee used in this one. I don't know if they use 3 volcanoes, but
yeah.
Stone Creek Coffee Company is always the company that they use for coffee in their beers. This year, the first 3 beers are using Stone Creek's 3 Volcanoes coffee. The last one is using their Green Bite coffee. Excited to dive into these. We always have fun with this every year.
Yeah, these are all aged in Heaven Hill barrels this year on. They're aged for 7 months each, and they all come in at 10.5%. So that makes it really easy to remember everything for us. So
yes, so some big beers here, celebrating St. Patrick's Day in the best way possible. Some bourbon barrel aged stouts. So let's dive into the first one here. This is the base Mystic Knot. Now we've tried this several times on the channel. Let's reacquaint ourselves with it. Little nose. Coffee.
That's just coffee. And it's a really good, fresh coffee.
Now, historical reference, the coffee in these always tends to overshadow the barrel character for me. Love this series, but even though these are barrel-aged and Heaven Hill barrels, I'm not getting much barrel character on the nose. It's just coffee. That's the overwhelming scent.
I don't disagree at all. But it's a good, fresh, like, wake up in the morning coffee scent. Like, that's the good thing. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just kind of like that, like, you can get, like, a bitter, spicy coffee sometimes. Yeah. This is just really good, fresh coffee.
It's a great coffee nose. Yeah. It smells like a cream coffee. Yep.
So,
let's check it out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, that's damn good. It is a coffee for barrel-aged beer, but it's a really good. The coffee notes that come out of this are really good. You get a little bit of that, like, a little bit of the fudginess from the bourbon, but that's a damn good beer. Holy cow!
Last year we tried this. It was really, really cold. Before we did this video, I actually watched last year's review of this. We had it sitting outside, and it was like a really cold day in Wisconsin. This is a little closer to room temp because it's only been chilling in the fridge for a couple hours. I do think I'm getting a little bit more barrel character out of this. However, it's still very subdued in comparison to the coffee notes on this beer. That being said, similar to years past, great coffee flavor. The coffee punches you in the mouth right at the start, right on the front end of the beer. You get kind of this really, really nice creamed coffee note through the mid palate, and out the back, it's just kind of this like a little bit sweet coffee, creamed coffee, Irish cream type note, and it's just good. It's great at this time of year too. And
we've mentioned that this it's very coffee forward and everything with this and everything, but I don't think you have to be like a coffee lover to really enjoy this beer. I really, you disagree.
I disagree. If you don't like coffee, you're not going to like this because it's the star character. Like it is the star character.
I guess the reason I say that, I think other characteristics are coming out because of the cream, because of that vanilla-ish flavor that's kind of coming out of it. I don't think you have to love coffee to like this beer.
That's fair. I think you do, but it's going to depend on the person, right? No way to say.
Yeah.
So, Ross, Base Mystic Knot 2023. Where are you going?
It's tough because this is really good. I don't want to go too high right off the gate, but it's 4 1/4 for me.
Okay.
I really like this. Because I just think it balances the coffee and the barrel so well. I think it's a great base. So I got 4 1/4.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going a 4 on this.
Okay.
Not quite 4 1/4. Again, I really enjoy this. As far as drinkability of this beer, it is fantastic. And the flavor notes are great. If you just told me this was an imperial stout with coffee, an Irish cream stout, 4 1/4, closing in on 4 1/2, because this is barrel aged and I'm just not getting enough of that barrel character through this, I'm giving it a 4. But if you're looking for a St. Patty's Day beer that's bigger, this is a good one to choose.
Yeah.
So good stuff from Third Space. Up next.
All right, so next we have, and I forgot the name of it already. I think it's just simple. Yeah, Mystic Dude. So this one is a barrel
You think
aged.
it's simple? You think it is? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Dude.
So this is a barrel aged White Russian Imperial Stout, of course, modeled and after from the Dude and the Big Lebowski. So this is basically the same thing we just had. I think they just said they put extra lactose in it. Yep, extra lactose in it.
Extra creamy.
Extra creamy. So one thing I think we've done from this series, from the deconstructed dessert series we've done, the one thing we know Third Space does really well is the vanilla flavor and the vanilla profiles they were able to get into their beer. So I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah. Last year's Mystic Affogato was a clear winner for us. Yep. Curious what they do here.
Yeah. So let's get a little nose on it.
Little nose on the Dude.
And this is, I think he said earlier, but this is the same coffee from the previous one.
Yes, 3 Volcanoes from Stone Creek. Okay.
So it's a similar nose to the first one.
It is.
It's slightly subdued, but subdued.
Subdued.
But
Subdued?
sure.
Never mind. Okay, continue.
Hey, dude.
The Nickelodeon show? Hey, dude. Okay, go ahead.
It's just a slightly subdued coffee note, but it's still there. I mean, coffee's still the star in this one.
Yeah. I do think I'm getting a little bit more creamy notes on the nose. The first one was a little more coffee bitterness forward. Yep. This has got a little bit more creaminess to it, but similar nose. Yeah. Agreed. So, let's try it out.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Just gonna let that linger for a bit.
Okay. So what's interesting is it's not really vanilla. It's definitely like it's that lactose. It's the creamy nature to it. It's not vanilla, but it's good. Like front end of this, you get a lot more like sugary cream sweetness at the front that actually makes its way all the way through the beer, pretty sustained all the way through the back end, and it just tastes like you took the Mystic Knot, the base Mystic Knot to me, and you actually threw like a coffee creamer in it.
Yep.
Like that's kind of what I'm getting.
No, that's I can't add anything else to what you just said. It tastes exactly like it. Like the first one is it's a black coffee. This is if like you take a couple creamers and 1 sugar and you throw it in, and that's what you get. And what I really like what it says is it's the same beer. I mean, it really is. And I know sometimes I get it should be because it's a base with just something added, but like sometimes even when you just add something to a base, some brewers tend to get lost in that. It's the same beer. It's the flavors on top of that and everything I really like.
100%. So this one, Untappd, even though I feel like I'm still missing the barrel characters, I do feel like as this is a little bit warmer than I'm used to drinking Mystic Knot, actually, that I'm getting more barrel character in this than I have historically, but it's still light. Even with that, I'm still going to jump this up a quarter from my review of the base. I like this a little bit more just because of the unique nature to it, and that extra sweetness kick is like, it's good. It adds a little punch to it, and I like that. So I'm going to go 4 1/4 on the Mystic Dude.
So I'm gonna stay at 4 1/4. with the caveat that I like this more than the base. I like the creamy characteristics. I like what it adds to it. To your point, though, if it had some of those barrel characteristics that we really love, I think maybe I'll jump this to a 4.5.
Yeah.
But it's better than the base Mystic Knot, but it's not quite there for a 4.5. I guess is where I'm putting it at.
Yeah.
So 4.25.
Fair enough. Okay.
So what is next?
Up next, we are heading south of the border for what they are calling, and now I'm forgetting, Mystic Caliente, which is a barrel-aged Mexican-style hot chocolate stout. So what's interesting about this one, again, same base beer, same coffee, Stone Creek 3 Volcanoes, except this is brewed with cacao, cinnamon, chili peppers, and vanilla. So the vanilla gets added here. The chili peppers, you know, should be an interesting addition. A couple of years ago, they did Mystic Mole, which was something in the same vein as this. So I'm curious where this one sits in comparison. So let's get a little nose on the Mystic Caliente. Hello.
So this is the first complete divert from the original Mystic, like the base and everything. The coffee's there, but it's like those peppers are prominent.
Yeah, peppers and cinnamon,
Yeah.
the two key notes on the nose.
And we've said this many times. Cinnamon is a very polarizing note for us on this channel.
Big time. It smells a little bit like a churro, like breakfast, a little bit. Interesting.
I mean, the good thing too, this was just released. The day we're shooting this video was just released this morning to the public.
Right. March 11th, 2023.
So it's very fresh, and you can smell that freshness kind of coming out.
100%. There is a dark coffee note to it too. So, very curious what this tastes like. So, cheers. Okay.
So for me, the coffee's very subdued compared to what we've had so far. That cinnamon is coming out, but I think what the crazy thing is the peppers really balance it out quite well, where it doesn't, not one, the pepper or the cinnamon overpowers one or the other. And it's got like, this is going to sound weird, it's got a spice flavor without being spicy.
Yeah.
So
this doesn't have the like in your throat, kick your ass spice character to it. This is really tasty. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect going into it, but like front end of the palate, it's sweet, similar to the Dude. But that sweetness is coming from, I think, the cinnamon and, you know, you combine that with the cacao and the vanilla and kind of the smooth nature of that with a little bit of like the earthiness from the peppers that are in here. And it all blends so well together in this that it just creates a very unique experience on the palate. And the coffee's there, but to your point, it's very subdued. The coffee is not the heavy character here. Now, again, our palates might be busted up a little bit after having these first two, but I do think those other characters play a significant role in this beer. And for that reason, this one is very, very unique.
It is. It's such a fun addition to this group too, because it's such a change of pace to what we've done so far. Because it was, you have the base, let's just throw some coffee and sugar in, and now let's just completely go outside in right field and throw cinnamon and peppers. And there's always that concern: is this gonna be spice? Is this gonna be kind of that weird? Where like, you know, sometimes cinnamon beers can get real hard to kind of drink after a couple of sips, but this is amazingly balanced, oddly smooth. And not filling, which sometimes you get with that cinnamon. Yeah,
the cinnamon's not like destroying this beer. It's there, but it's playing a complementary role. Untappd on this, where are you going?
I really like it. I just don't like it as much as I like the first two. So I'm going to go with a 4.
Okay.
But I'm going to say a surprising 4, because I think to your point, I didn't think I would like this one. I really didn't, because of the flavors that were being added in the profiles, but it's a really good 4.
I'm actually going to go 4.25 on this. I'm actually really liking this. It's not 4.5 category. It's not pushing the envelope there. I will say I do think I like Mystic Dude a little bit more. It's a little bit more up my alley, but these are close 4.25s. This is a good beer.
Yeah.
If you have any interest in this style of beer, if you're not looking for that burn, if that's what, turns you away from these kinds of beers, this is one to pick up because you don't get that, and you do get some of the characteristics of it. So it's a very unique offering here.
Yeah.
I actually really like
Really well
this.
done. So,
What's last?
so last we have the Mystic Double Shot Rum. So this is a double barrel aged espresso stout. So this was aged in bourbon barrels first, and then into a rum barrel. And then this time around they use Stone Creek Green Bike coffee for this one. So this is the first time they used a different coffee. And I think the first time I've seen rum with, for me at least, the first time I've seen rum with third space with Mystic Knot. I don't think I've seen rum barrel.
I can't remember what the double shot was last year, because last year I think was the first year they did a double shot. By the way, this is the 6th year they've released Mystic Knot. The double shot, though, I think was first introduced last year, and I can't remember what was in that. It doesn't matter.
We'll post the link and you guys can watch last year's. I don't remember.
Either way, let's get a little nose on the double shot. Whoa. So, what I remember about the double shot last year was the espresso component to it, and this is just like in-your-face coffee note, like the espresso characteristics to the nose.
Yeah, it's the espresso is a prominent. I mean, the coffee's there, but it's really that espresso kind of note that comes out of the coffee.
Like this was aged in 2 different barrels, or at least blended from 2 different barrels, and you don't get any barrel character on the nose. It's just espresso coffee in your face.
Yeah.
All right, check it out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Man. Are there coffee grounds in the bottom?
So as Josh alluded to, very heavy coffee. This is one where, I know you said about the first one, this is one you have to like coffee to like this one.
Yeah.
I will say the barrel characteristics I thought would come out more in this one, and I'm not getting any of them. And it's not a bad thing at all. Like I wish they had a little bit more, but like the coffee notes in this one, it's good, and you got that like a little bit of espresso kind of shot that you got going. I mean, it's a fun beer.
It is 100%. I like it because I enjoy coffee. To your point, again, I think this one out of all of them, if you're not a coffee fan, you are not going to like this. If you don't like coffee, I will disagree with you from the perspective of if you're gonna advertise it as a barrel-aged, double barrel-aged, rum barrels, bourbon barrels, why are you doing that if the beer is not going to portray any of those characteristics? Because in fairness to third space, as deep as the coffee characteristics are here, I don't know how you're going to get those barrel characteristics to shine. I just don't know how you're going to do it. And they're not there. They just aren't. They're not there. It is coffee on coffee on coffee. And it's good. It's really, really good. But just make it that way then, right? I don't know. That's my personal opinion. Like, if that's what we're going for here, and maybe there's probably stuff subtle here that's happening that is coming out of the barrel that is impacting the flavor. So all fairness to that, but this is just deep coffee, very, very deep.
I don't think he said it's inaccurate. I just really like it.
It's good. It doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah,
Again, I wasn't saying that because it's not good. I'm just saying, like, as a barrel-aged beer fan and aficionado, I want to get some of those barrel characteristics out of here, and you just don't get it because the coffee is so strong, so pungent.
And yeah, I mean, and maybe there is an underlying thing that you and I aren't picking up. Maybe it's a fudginess or something we're not picking up that is from the barrel characteristics. And I think you and I are very used to those vanilla, fudgy, roasty, some of those oaky characteristics.
That stuff's all in here. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that stuff's not missing. You're just the typical barrel characteristics, that oakiness, that spirit note is just non-existent within this beer. Untappd, honestly, I said all of that. I'm still giving this a 4 because I really, really enjoy it. Like, I'm not putting anything in this series this year underneath a 4. I just think it's all really, really good. It's all very drinkable. And at 10.5%, it's sneaky 10.5%. Like, I could be drinking this out of a coffee cup during a work meeting. Any of you watching, I don't do that. And it would be like drinking coffee. Like, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
So it's a 4. It's a well-made beer. I just wish it had more of those characteristics to it.
So I'm going to go a really good 4. So I got this slightly above the Caliente. And I'll be honest with you, I'll say this. I saw a rum barrel. I got real nervous. I don't really like rum barrel beers. So I'm okay not getting the characteristics that rum barrels sometimes bring out. Sure. So I really enjoy this. I think it's really good. It's very coffee. It's the most coffee-ish drink that we've had so far. And that's saying a lot because they all have coffee characteristics. But this is a great series. I mean, this is a fun series. It's super good. Fun. And it's amazing how they can take a simple base beer and do so many different things with it and continue to add to it. So,
and if you want to get annihilated on St. Patrick's Day,
no kidding.
Quick, pick up some of these.
It's 4 of these or 10 Guinnesses. Pick your point.
Right. 100%. 100%. All right, good stuff here from Third Space. The Mystic Knot series we have done now 3 years in a row. Really, really good stuff here from
probably my favorite year, though.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Like the Affogato still might be my favorite. I think
might be the top
of my favorite. Like as a series as a whole, I think this is my favorite series.
Yeah, this was fun. This was good. So, hey, check out Third Space. I'm sure they still have this. We just picked this up at the brewery today. Typically, they have this stuff for a few weeks afterwards. So check them out if you're looking for something good for St. Patrick's Day to enjoy with your friends. Really good stuff here from Third Space. Check us out on the rest of our social media channels. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Untappd. We are also here on YouTube. So like, comment, and subscribe. If you've tried these, let us know. If you've tried them in the past, we'd love to hear your comments. If you've tried this year's, the 2023 release of Mystic Knot, we would love to hear from you as well. So let us know in the comments, and we will see all of you in a future episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.